Harrison County because of the school system and the respected school system that was here. And we really tried to start a move to get parents involved as much as possible. I'm really sad that I'm the only one speaking today. I know that we've had a lot of issues, not even just in this county, but as a nation, obviously. But our main frustration is just the lack of planning to really get kids completely back to school. And I don't really know what the plan is. Maybe I'm seen as an enemy now because the number of cases have suddenly gone through the roof. But I ask you to consider the risk of our children's education as opposed to the risk of what these so-called numbers really mean at this point. Because my main concern really is the risk of our children's education, and I think a lot of parents feel that way. I feel that we have known about this since March, and we're now almost to December. And I feel let down at what really the plan was. 2 days a week has been tough on our family and tough on a number of families. And not just from an education standpoint. I'm one of the lucky ones. You know, I can actually help my family out, as can my wife, help our children out. But I'm concerned about the people or the kids that don't have a voice, about the violence that might be going on at their homes that we do not know about right now. And those are things that are never talked about. It's never talked about what the kids' concerns are, but instead we're always talked about what the teachers' concerns are. And I'm sorry if you became a teacher, just as I became a teacher at one time, it's supposed to be about the kids. And I think we have forgotten it. And it saddens me that it's gotten to this point. So I talked to the teachers, and I'm not going to name who my one son's teacher is, but she's a permanent sub. And if somebody should be home right now, it should be her. But she's actually there every day, you know, teaching, and she's a saint. I honestly say that she is a saint that has come through. And that is one concern I did not mention. I do understand the issue with staffing, you know, and that is a big issue that I think is not talked about enough. There's obviously been a lack of staffing. Nobody's signing up to be a substitute teacher right now, okay? I do understand that, and I understand that challenge, and that is a challenge for all the schools. I know a number of schools aren't just really shutting down because of cases, as per they just can't find the people, which is sad. But I think that stems from a bigger problem that just people don't trust to go into the system anymore, or the school system. So it's not like you're getting new teachers, you know, and then on top of it, we're using these tactics to scare everyone to stay home. And it is very concerning. You know, I think the media always does a good job of letting us know about the cases, but they never let us know about what the successes are. You know, there was a study that somebody came out and said, you know, the YMCA, New York City, stayed open during March and April with no spike in cases, okay? During the biggest global pandemic in the world, they're in the biggest hotspot in the world at the time. So I'm tired of hearing that the number of cases are related to schools opening, because when you can correlate that and show me that data that correlates it, not just says schools are open and the number of cases have increased, we're gonna have cases. It's gonna happen, and it's happening, but I don't think it's happening to an extreme enough that we should not be back in school, at least working towards more days. I understand it's not going to happen overnight, but we as parents need to know what the plan is. And I just feel that we've been left in the dark a little bit on what that plan is, or at least to try to work with us. I feel like everything has to be done through Schoology, or done that way. I believe in community. I believe I can walk down to the school. I believe I can talk to the principal, to the teacher, and let them know this is the way we're going to do it. I'm to the point, for the sanity of my family, that we will not go on Schoology and instead hand in a folder with the work. And I don't think that's unjust to do so, in my opinion. If you want to tell me that there's COVID on those papers and no one wants to touch them, then let them sit for 14 days and then you can grade it. Because it's to the point where parents need to be heard, because it is. And I never thought I'd say this, but maybe it is at the point where we need a voucher system. Appreciate your time, and I appreciate, and I hope that we can work towards a better future for our kids.
Thank you very much.
Moves us down to superintendent's update. Snuffer?
Yeah, we don't have a lot tonight on the superintendent's update. Other than under the safety portion, I just wanted to let you know that we are working through, we have several of our schools, we do have several schools closed, and we've made those announcements, and we're working through those, and when we have cases in a building, we do attempt to keep them open, and sometimes we have had to close, as he said, due to staffing, but I just wanted to give you an update on that. I think you guys are well aware of what's going on with the schools, and we give an update every Friday to our local health, or the health department, and we work together on that. So tracking those cases and what's creating the issues in the buildings, and why we're doing what we're doing. So anyway, that's really why we put that on there, was for the safety and health. And we have discussed what we're looking at for the future. We had a conversation with our administrators on Tuesday, and how we're attempting to get back in. You know, we all agree, and we've said this before, that we need to be in more than 2 days, but right now with the cases and the uptick in the cases, and with the staffing concerns, and of course the governor has shut our schools down now through December 3rd, and we'll see what they're thinking about doing statewide, because that affects us too. I mean, our schools close according to collar maps, and there's a lot of other factors that are closing our schools as well. So anyway, that was just what I wanted to talk about as far as the safety and the health of the students. And then we had a United Technical Center meeting that I was not able to attend on Friday, but Mr. Hug went. If you have something you'd like to tell us about that meeting.
It's just that he's continued to talk about some positions, there's a position available that are still not ready to fill. They did ask to, unfortunately, the cosmetology lady had a brain hemorrhage and is in very critical condition in Morgantown, part of there. And he said that he was going to see if he could, which we gave you permission to bring on a replacement for the one girl's going to step up, and then they're going to bring in another person to help her until at such a point, Barbie's able to return. He said he doesn't expect her to be able to return until next year at the earliest. And basically, that was pretty much everything that they all his 10-year plan. We looked over it, and it was approved. And so he was getting it ready to go to the state for their approval. And he's in the same situation, with the COVID thing. Like I said, he would like to get to the point where all the kids can come in every day, that signed up. But he said right now he's found out that he's going to have a limit of, the number of days that they can come and all. If they're in school, then they're allowed to come. And pretty much that was his update and all.
Yeah, and he's trying to work with 3 different counties.
Yes.
On different schedules.
And it is, he's jumping through a lot of hoops with Taylor and Doddridge and everything. So, but it is what it is. So that's pretty much what
we didn't really have anything else for superintendent's update. I don't think we have finance. With Jimmy.
Yeah, where do we stand on our fire at the?
Very, very fortunate. Very fortunate that we had a heat pump that had a short in an electrical box, and it malfunctioned, it created some melting of the actual heat pump. And we had Jared Drake come over, the installers, and we've taken, Joe's guys took out the old heat pump to get the smell out, did very little damage, if any, maybe a few ceiling tiles. We needed to clean up the hallway, and really avoided a bad problem.
Let the box from train out here in the hallway.
Yes, but it really, we avoided what could have been a bad problem, but it happened at a good time. Fortunately, the kids weren't there. We were bringing the kids in on the bus. Dora and I had talked. We decided to keep the kids on the school buses. After spending time with Joe and at the scene with fire
And then,
department.
yeah, Nutter Fire Chief was there.
And so we determined that really the smell in the building was a big problem. So we had to not have school that day. But they'll be able to make repairs and put in a new unit. It only affected the office area as far as the HVAC. So given a bad situation, it worked out about as well as it could have worked out, except for the fact that, there were some kids that missed a day of school, which was an inconvenience.
Does our brim coverage cover that?
Insurance.
Yeah, the fire chief told us that if there had not been anybody in the building, that it would have not, but they saw it. They actually saw it start sparking in the flames, so they were able to catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not would have been
I have
good
a
if it
question,
had
I have a
been.
question. With the cameras, all the cameras that we got in through that grant, that the teachers were gonna use for their,
Yeah, the swivel cameras.
have all those been passed out? And I know we had a conversation in our last meeting and the week before about, I'm starting to do more video conferencing with the
Uh-huh.
students. Has that started?
We had that conversation with the principals on Tuesday and gave them their requirements when they were here. So I'm not sure. Did the cameras go out yet? I saw some. They didn't come in yet. Yeah, the flash drives came in, but not the swivel cameras. But they can do live on Schoology. I mean, they can do,
Right,
yeah, live videos there. But the cameras will be great when we get them.
right.
For
Before
that.
that, are they doing more live?
They were-
Can they start, or is that was a directive?
Yes, we talked to them and they are to be doing live, and then any videos should be of the teachers' faces, not videos that they're just pulling down from wherever. We went through a lot of different examples of what they could be doing in the
Is it
classroom.
gonna be like in real time with the students in the classroom and then live at the same time, or what was it?
We told them to go live, like we used the example, our special ed teachers are live during the day.
Mhm.
So they're going to be doing that, and they were concerned that if students aren't there, they're not gonna log in, but you can record that, and then when the kids log on, they should be able to see that in the evening, even if there's 8 kids on during that live session.
Right.
So you should be seeing that happening. We had that meeting on Tuesday last week with all of our administrators.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then we were just concerned too, that if you're putting up a video or you're going to demonstrate how to, any type of instruction, should be your child's teacher's face,
Mhm.
not a video from some other place showing instruction. So
Yeah. And then
we spent probably an hour and a half talking about our remote instruction.
the biggest complaint I get, along with not being in school, is just they're getting a lot of assignments and busy work, but they're not getting that face-to-face. So if they can't be there face-to-face, that's where I think the video every day going, here's your video homework, we're gonna do it together so they're walking through it. So they're not losing any days of instruction, at least their video
Right.
every day.
We also address the number of assignments and making sure that we're doing the core content skills that they need for that grade level, and not a lot of extra things. Not that those things aren't important, and if you had a normal 8-hour instructional day, all those things are great, but you can't expect for students to do that when they're there for 2 hours in the evening. So we did ask them to go back, look at what the teachers are putting up, and make sure that we're just doing core content areas.
But just with.
And there was a couple examples that was provided to me, and I was like, why are you doing that? We don't need to be doing that, so.
Just for
Yeah.
my own kids, when they have questions, I mean, I can't answer their questions, it needs to be their teacher answering the questions, but it's homework assignments that they need to see their teacher face to face.
Right. We agree with that.
And I know when I'm talking with my students, they're saying the same things in their classes. They have questions, they got homework, but their parents can help them, and it's homework, but they have questions. So it would be really nice to have that video conferencing every single day with their students during class time.
Right, we agree with that, so that was the instructions that and we even provided examples Dr. Hagan collected some examples of teachers that are just teaching, and it might just be a worksheet like this, and you're learning words, and the teacher was teaching that worksheet, and that worksheet, I said on the in-person days, could be sent home with that child, and then the teacher comes in on Wednesday and says, hey, you've got this there,
Right,
pull it out, we're gonna do that together.
right, that's what I'm looking for, yeah.
So, I think we're trying to do, just from talking, that I think we're trying to do a whole 8-hour instructional day, like it would just be a typical, and I think in terms of elementary, so excuse me for that, but when you are looking at a classroom for an hour and a half of math, you might do filler things or activities with, and you just can't do that. And I honestly think we were making it much more, I don't want to say difficult than it needed to be, but it needed to be streamlined. A couple of the elementary principals that we talked to, they pulled out their specialties. You know what I mean? And they're putting up videos for phys ed as an optional thing. Like they're making some fun optional videos for phys ed, but that doesn't need to be an assignment that they're sitting there using 15 minutes of their screen time to do that. So we talked about that and keeping with the core content and streamlining the instruction. Since, remote is reality, and we've got to fix our remote instruction if we're going to be in this kind of a situation. So we had them about all day, the administrators, talking about that.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
I know that you discussed it with the principals, and I think it's a lot bigger deal than that, the necessity of this. And I think this is something that, hey, this is what we're doing. I think it needs to be advertised. Parents, we're going live, a rollout date, and everybody do it the same day. It is a big deal. The kids have to see their teachers. And I said it months ago, I think it should start, our teachers are in their classroom. I think they should start when school starts as normal. When they take their breaks, kids can, get off the computer. They need to break from the computer for lunch. But I think this has to be a bigger deal than we're kind of making it. I mean, I think we need a rollout date. Hey, parents, we're going live this date. And every teacher has to do it. I mean, we're just causing more confusion if we're just talking about it, and some are and some aren't. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Well, we did tell them we were requiring them to go live, so you should be
Can we
seeing
not
that.
get a rollout date that every teacher is on the same page, every parent and every student?
It
Like
should have been,
starting, December 3rd, we're all live. Is that possible?
I mean, we can
I
say that.
I think one of the dynamics that we face in talking with principals and several teachers is that a lot of your families, parents are working during the day. And so for a teacher to be live, the parents are not necessarily online at that time because their parents are at work and they're at daycare or they're with grandparents who do not have internet service, a variety of reasons.
Some families can't get 3 kids on the same bandwidth.
Correct, on the correct device. And so there are many teachers who are going live. They are increasing that and they are reporting when they're going live. But in order to schedule a full day live, there are many obstacles that would present for our families. So we're recording those sessions, our teachers are, and they're making those available to the students and the families in the evenings. We also talked about deadlines, and we told our parents and our teachers not to schedule due dates within 24 hours or 48 hours, but to extend those into weekends or multiple weekends, because that's when working parents are able to work with their children in the evenings or through a weekend. So we did give them a sheet of best practices, and there are great things that are going on in our county. And so we utilize those examples to show our principals and our teachers, this is what the standard should be. These are pockets of great things that are happening, and this should become the standard across the county. But there are many obstacles in going live instruction for a full day of class. Now, our middle schools and high schools do on Thursdays and Fridays. You have heard about that from your families. But those middle school and high school students are more easily to be able to go online because they don't need that parent sitting beside them just because of their age. But we are increasing our live instruction as well as our teacher recorded videos. We've heard that call. Parents are hearing that call as well, and then our teachers. So you will see an increase in that. But to do live instruction all day long, district-wide, would create a lot of obstacles for our families.
Right, but if
Well,
you
if
have
it's being recorded, why would there be an issue?
yeah.
I mean, they're doing their job, the kids can watch it at night. I mean, I still don't see what the problem is if she is teaching math as though she has all the students there and it's being recorded. And like the superintendent just mentioned, that there might be 8 people that are able to attend, but it's still being recorded for those people the students you're talking about in the evening.
Sure, I'm sorry. I misunderstood this messenger. I thought you were saying to do live instruction the full school day. I misunderstood what you were saying. So
I do mean that.
That's what
I
I
do
think
mean
she
that.
is meaning that,
That's
yeah.
their job. If the kids were in school, they would be doing that. And I think it would be easier for our teachers to actually, I mean, basically, it's a regular day of school, except the students aren't there. I mean, that's what we're doing now, except they aren't getting the instruction. They're getting assignments.
So when I'm going live with my students, I go, they have their digital book at home. I say, all right, turn the page, this page, and I go page by page. They're at home reading it, I'm giving the instruction, and then if I need to pull up videos, I pull up videos, and they can show on Teams, they can see everything I'm doing. And then if they have any questions in real time, they can ask me in real time so I can explain it to them. So everyone's online, and all that can be recorded.
Yes.
So then if they can't be there, at least they can hear the questions from the other students, and these other students can watch it at nighttime. But if you don't have that recorded, then and I know in elementary you're doing multiple subjects, so you could, if you're not going to go live, you could do, all right, here's a 20-minute lesson on English, here's a 20-minute lesson.
That's
on
exactly
math.
what we said,
And then you break it down.
to do live lessons in each core content area for those
Right.
kids. Because you also have to look at the screen time for a 7 or 8-year-old. Even if they were home and could log on, you wouldn't want them sitting in front of that screen all day long either. So I think that was part of it. We asked them to do live lessons of the core content areas, teach the skill for that day, and then follow up with any type of, you know what I mean, assignment.
But that, if they're in school for 2 days right now, and then when they're home on those other 3 days.
There should be a live math,
Yes.
English lesson every day, but yeah, for
Every
those
day,
kids. Yes.
and that should be
Yes.
not their homework.
And then the
that should
others,
be-
the specialty things we said should be like a optional,
Interwoven in.
yeah, woven into those English and
There has
math
to be
lessons.
face-to-face time every day.
Yes.
If they're not in
Yes.
school, there has to
Yes.
be face-to-face
For
time.
example,
Yes.
if you look at the American Academy of Pediatrics, their recommendation for screen time for grades kindergarten through 2 is 90 minutes total a day. So for us to be full day live, that would exceed the 90 minutes. And so that's why we said, pare it down to the English language arts and the math, the core content areas, and work to provide that live instruction or recorded instruction 90 minutes for grades K through 2. Now, grades 3 through 5, it's 120 minutes per day that you should not exceed. And so obviously our school day is longer than 120 minutes on the screen. It's 60 minutes for pre-K and K. Those are the recommendations from the American Pediatric Academy as well as the West Virginia Department of Education. So that's the research behind.
And they still did want to keep in their teams meetings where they're checking in with students. They like that, so they can talk to them and check in with them.
And the
So-
small group meetings.
Yeah.
And that's an opportunity for the students to ask questions if they can't attend a live session.
Well, I can tell you, it didn't happen this week.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met with principals on Tuesday, and of course, there's been that, gap. They've not been able to meet with all of their teachers since then, so, but you should see change.
I'd like to know, like Ms. Messenger said, what type of timeframe we can look at, because I'll tell you, and in my opinion, is the high school kids, they are a little more autonomous than the elementary schools. So they have the ability to not have someone hold their hand to sign on to a device, to be in front of the device, to be able to see that stuff daily. So if we're gonna do it, got to do it right. So we need to have, number one, an idea as when we're gonna roll it out. Number two, it's not gonna be a one-size-fits-all situation. Elementary, middle, and high school are all gonna look at things differently. I know my fifth grader doesn't have a problem signing on herself. So she could be a little bit, more able to do that, just like the high school or the middle school kids. So if we have to relook at it and we have to think about it, then let's do it, let's get it out there, and let's do it. Let's pull the trigger and make it happen.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. We've been talking about this. I brought this up before school even started. Now we're into school. This stuff started in March, and we still don't have anything. It needs to be done. I don't know why you would be meeting with them on Tuesday. We spoke about this 2 weeks ago. As a priority in our meeting, but they were just met with. We're just counting down, and nothing is getting done, in my opinion. Like Frank said, it's time to pull the trigger and quit talking about it.
That was the scheduled principals meeting that they had, that they came in, and we got to see them in person that day.
And I think
To
a lot
give
of our
them
teachers
examples.
had already done their lesson plans
Mhm.
for the remainder of that week. And so that opportunity for that change, you should see happening next week or this week. But that will give the opportunity for those teachers to make those appointments.
But they're going on break and won't be back till December 3rd now. I have to tell you, we're lagging. We're lagging.
We're doing remote instruction though, remember, Ms. Messenger, over Thanksgiving break. Those are those NT days. And so you will see an opportunity for change that week. The students are still receiving instruction on November 23rd, 24th.
I
really.
think we need a rollout out date, and we have to make it clear. They want to know what the plan is. I agree with that, with what our delegation said. We're talking about it, but it's not being done. Michael just asked about the cameras, but the truth of it is, we don't even need the cameras for what we're talking about.
No, the live instruction can be done with Schoology. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah, it can be.
exactly. So, that's all I'm gonna say about it, but, how many, I hope this isn't a discussion at our next meeting, because, it should be a clear point by then, what's going on, and every parent, every student, and every teacher knows what's going on. I don't even know why we're meeting, all we're doing is talking about it.
Yeah.
So I hope by next meeting, this isn't another conversation, is all I'm saying.
I agree. They were given the directive to go live, so.
I can just say
And
this,
they wanted to pare down, I think a lot of that discussion was trying to pare down and not make it so, it was too many assignments and too difficult, so they were going to go back to look at that, and then, so they would know when they went live that it was content areas. We don't want to go live with stuff that's not, and I will tell you, working with teachers, they want to get it all in. I've worked with them for years, and they try to put in everything that you would be doing in a school day. And it was really even eye-opening when I was talking to the administrators that day, that, you know, and of course, teachers are doing great things. We've got a lot of great things going on out there, we do. But it's hard to say, you've got to just do this amount. They want to do all of it, and it is overwhelming people with it in our families. So I think we got that message clear.
It's not, the kids aren't learning because there's a lot of just assignments and there's no video. There's no
Right,
questions.
it's actual
And like-
instruction.
Well, like
happening.
when my mother-in-law works with my kids, or I'm working, or my wife's working, you're navigating between multiple things within the device, but we are not elementary teachers and trying to teach kids when there's tips and tricks and ways you can teach, because that's what you're trained to do as a teacher, and we can't do that unless it's face-to-face, where if they would have a question, the teachers can see every aspect, and the students can see every aspect of it, where they're going through, okay, this is your work week you got for this day, and here's what we're gonna go through video. I think that's the best.
That was the examples that we were showing. Here is just a simple assignment. It covered a certain skill in elementary. Teacher was teaching it, the paper was there. That's what we want.
Just to say real quick though,
Yeah.
another thing to look out for, and this is something you may want to approach. I don't want a live face-to-face instruction through the computer to be had, and then the teacher tell the students to go sit on iReady for 30 minutes or 25 minutes and do some iReady work when they're not having an instructional lesson.
Right.
And then give them a worksheet to do after they're done with that live meeting.
Right, no.
I mean, it needs to be some kind of instruction.
Right.
Right, instruction.
So when
Well,
the teacher's
let
on
me
the
ask you
video,
also
that lesson's
about the
over.
recommendation.
What, Yes.
The screen time recommendations that you're speaking of was pre-COVID, correct?
No. Those were released by the Pediatric Academy in March. They were adopted by the West Virginia Department of Education and distributed to all 55 counties.
those were actually sent to us when we were putting together any type of blended instruction that was sent to the counties to use. I mean, so we'd have as a guide for the amount of
And
time.
I think we
spent.
also have to realize, I mean, we keep on mentioning the students that can't log on. I think that is I mean, believe me, I understand that, but I think the majority of students can log on and would prefer to be online. They love their teachers, they depend on their teachers, and to be face-to-face with their teachers. And I think there's a huge majority that can log on, so using the ones that can't log on as an excuse, I mean, I just don't think that's rational in this situation, especially if it's being recorded. What's important are the ones that instruction is given and that people can log on, and they can also record it and log on later. But if you want to actually be there with your teacher, which I'm telling you, most of our students, they want that. And so do our teachers want that. So I think saying that people can't log on, I mean, that's after the fact, in my opinion, and it can't be used as an excuse. And that's just my feeling on it. I think parents want their kids to be sitting there with their teacher and not wait for them to come home at night. And parents will step up with the same demand, you know? I think they'd be grateful if we're in this situation. So I just really think we have to look at the instruction and the face-to-face with the teacher like Michael is doing with his own class is just imperative right now.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah,
So,
agree with that. Yeah. We'll send that directive out, and we'll send it out again tomorrow.
Well, you
To
just
make
have,
sure,
like, here's
starting
your,
with-
get your stuff together, and like Frank was saying, and Kristen, get your stuff together, this is the plan. Like, every day, face-to-face, December 3rd, just have your, like, no question, you told the principals got until December 3rd to get all the teachers on board, ready to go. If they need extra training, they can come see.
And I think we need to there needs to be 2 dates. There needs to be the principal, we need you to make sure you tell us that your folks are ready on December. Because if we said, okay, it's going live December 3rd, and then everyone's waiting and it doesn't
Right.
happen, because each principal has to know that their school is ready to go. Because if you give a date and it doesn't work, that's the worst thing that can happen. Hey, we sat down for it and it's not working. You need to have a date first where they say, okay, my school's ready to do this. Okay, then from there you have a date, because There's nothing worse than it's just like a website that you put up and then don't update it. They go hit it once and they're not going back.
I think you're seeing some changes now. We were seeing
Well,
some
but
things
if you give the directive, like December 3rd, then you'd be ready. Just give a definite date so that there's no excuses from our principal, anyone else. Our kids are missing out. Our kids need to run. COVID's not going away. It's always going to be here. It's not going to magically disappear, just like SARS and the flu and everything else. It's going to be around. So we have to have something in place that's going to last, because we're not going to, every year, we're going to encounter this now. So what do we've got to be ready. It's flu season, and flu tests with COVID, so it's never going to go away.
And we do, I mean, we have classrooms that we're doing live instruction, so we instructed them too to pay attention to those classrooms that are doing live instruction. So we do have it happening out there, it's just not happening everywhere.
It needs to be the
So,
standard.
It needs to
yes,
be the standard, that's
Yes.
right. Mhm.
because we do have, we hate to say that it's not happening at all, because we saw some great examples of where it's happening, but it's not happening uniformly across the board. So that was our emphasis.
Why not? Why not, if it's a directive?
Because
I mean,
Well,
aren't you not following the directive?
And initially, when the school year started, they were told to do, how many live lessons? That's
Two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 live lessons, and then what it turned into being was recordings or finding videos of, someone else instructing it, they were and that's kind of what it turned into.
It's more prescribed. now.
Yeah,
It's more
so,
prescribed.
we were allowing the teachers really to develop instruction and teach the skills that they needed to teach. So that's why.
So
So
there is a directive out there now, correct?
there's a directive that they do live instruction, yes.
And it's to be followed by, and I understand what Gary's saying, but if they're given a directive and they're told, we're going live, everybody does this on December 3rd, I don't see what the issue is. I mean, that's their directive.
That's fair, that's good. We've talked to them.
5 days a week.
Yep.
5 days a week.
Dave, yeah.
Yeah.
So for pre-K and K, that would be 60 minutes a day. For kindergarten through 2, that would be 90 minutes a day. And for grades 3 through 5, that would be 120 minutes a day. That's what's prescribed by the American Academy of Pediatrics. And
That's
that's-
more important than the State Department of
Correct.
Education. That's what we have.
Yes.
Okay.
So for the remainder after that, is the teacher still available? Let's take 120 minutes. That's 2 hours they're live. And they're in the school, what, 8 hours?
Yeah, that doesn't
Right.
count
Are
the
they
conferencing that they do.
available to students?
They're getting online with the kids all week. I mean, I'm hearing
Small
that.
groups and things.
Yeah. and
Yeah, I'm
doing
not
small
having
groups.
any difficulty getting in touch with them.
Yeah, they're
I can
in
get in touch with
constant
everybody.
contact. And
There's no
then,
problem there.
and then there are also the kids that are not logging on, that they're spending time reaching out, trying to find them, to make sure that so they're doing a lot of conferencing and making phone calls to find these kids that are not logging on readily or we're not hearing from. And then honestly, if they're not available, if we don't see these kids in 3 times, then it gets a referral to a counselor and a pro officer. I mean, we have to find these kids. So there's a lot of time being spent on that as well. I mean, on top of the
And
live
I
instruction.
understand that, like I told you,
Yeah.
I know a teacher actually showed up at, an acquaintance of mine in the house
Yes,
because they hadn't logged on. And I just had a lot of respect for that, and I was very impressed with that.
and they're creating
Right.
paper packets because we have said we have to make that available as well. If you've got children that, yeah, we have to make that available. So, so that's time consuming, that they're creating anything lesson that they're putting online, they need to have a paper lesson of that available. So when parents or students need a paper copy, they can have those as well. So,
Can we move on?
All right, anything else under superintendent's update? It moves us down to approval of consent items. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under new business, student transfer request.
Yeah, we did our, what's that? Yeah, there's only 3. We did our student transfers, the bulk of them in August.
But
And
these
these
are
are-
renewals though, correct?
Yeah.
So they weren't in our school system to begin with?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Moved to second, any discussion? You had, okay, so these are all renewals. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Brings us down to maintenance vehicle bid results. These are the bids on the vehicles for our maintenance department.
So before we make a motion to approve, I'd like to actually say that I've got a little bit of heartburn with this. And it's not because of what is being presented to us from the specific Mid-State Chevrolet. It's just that the difference in cost that we are seeing is minimal versus using an in-county company, a company that helps us with our student driver's ed vehicles, a company that has helped us with the Grand Families program. So I think that what I would suggest is that we make a motion instead to approve Mid-State Chevrolet, to approve Harry Green Chevrolet in this particular purchase of the vehicles.
And I agree with that, because when you're talking 3 vehicles there, it's total difference in price is less than $1,000 among all 3.
Is it 3 or 5?
Or
It's 5 vehicles.
5 vehicles,
And it's
okay.
less
so-
than
Right,
$2,000.
but you're talking $300 or $400 difference on each vehicle.
Mhm.
And I'd rather stay with the in-county who provides us, like I said, our driver's ed cars, when we need them, and has helped us out. So nothing against Mid-State, but, and they were the low bid, and nothing, our purchasing did the right thing by bringing us those low bidders, but sometimes the low bidder is Harry Green's paying property taxes here in Harrison County that fund our school system, and they do a lot of other things, so
And
I agree with
the
that.
other question that I would have is, where would we take those vehicles to get serviced?
Well, they'd be new, so you could go to any GM garage, but
Good thing.
you'd end up going there
We'd end up
anyway.
going to
So
Harry Green Chevrolet
I
to get
agree,
serviced
so
instead of going all the way down to Mid-State Chevrolet.
if you want to just make the motion to
Okay.
accept.
I make a motion to accept Harry Green Chevrolet as the vehicle bid results for 10/28/2020 that were purchased.
Is there a second? I'll second.
I'll second that.
Oh, okay. Ms. Messenger seconds. Any other discussion?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Are we opening ourselves, I'm in agreement, I like going local, but are we opening up any doors for grievances or anything where it's gonna come back and bite us because we're not taking the low bid?
I agree with Michael, because I asked this question a month ago on some other bids where I wanted them in county, and actually I kind of forget the answer, but I was told we couldn't do it. I mean, I want Harry Green, don't get me wrong, but I've wanted this on other bids too, and I was told we can't do it, and I'm just kind of asking what's the difference with this one, and when I brought it up for like paving and things like that.
There's a difference, I think there's a difference when it comes down to certain things that are controlled by like other money given to us.
I just wanna make sure, I don't want something to come back and bite me. I'm all for local, I just don't.
The only thing I'll say is on the other, we've had other bids and we wanted to go local, and they were, we're talking less than 1% on each one of these. So I have no problem with, these are basically the same amount. For instance, one of these is 30,429 and the low bid was 29,830. So, you're talking less than 1% on there. So you can do it however you want, but I'm in agreement with, and that's how I'm gonna vote.
Are we comparing apples to apples?
Yes.
Yeah, these are the same
Yeah,
vehicles.
they're listed right here, they're listed right here.
Well,
But is there anything, like, what's gonna come back and bite us?
I don't think so. I don't think there could be, honestly. I think when it comes down to stuff like construction, we have to take certain considerations in regard to that.
Because you have the SBA
Because
and
we have the
everything
SBA and
else.
other monies that are being presented to us. But I think that this is our funding, and I think that, I think we'd be able to do this.
Oh, I'm gonna put against, just because, not because, I like the locals, but just, I'm worried it's gonna come back and bite us, and because we haven't done it with other projects, so. That's the only reason I'm voting against it.
Yeah, but sometimes, most of the time you're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars.
And I understand, I'm just
Now
worried that we're setting precedent for other things, so that's my only reason. I'm in full agreement. I wish we'd always go to local. And I think those are valid reasons. I'm just telling
Well, the
you.
motion's to accept the bid from Harry Green for these vehicles, and it's been seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Ms. Messenger?
I didn't answer, I'm glad you noticed that. I just don't feel I'm well informed enough, because I've asked this on several occasions and I'm always told no.
Well, you
It
can,
can't happen. And like some of like this paving bids, there was only a difference of like $800. And, I was told we couldn't do that, and I just don't want to put us in a bad position. I mean, I still don't understand, other than you saying 1%. I mean, is there a percentage where we can vote?
no, I think that this is just, I'll tell you, from my standpoint, it's just me as a board member and member of the community, that's how I feel. And basically, if someone wants to challenge that, then they can challenge that. That's me as an autonomous board member, I feel that way. Mr. Devano feels that way, and I just think in the long run, you've got a company that's given us $10,000, I think, for grand families, they supply us with other.
Oh, I know everything
Yeah,
is done. I
right.
mean,
Oh, I understand.
I want the percent for it. I've just always been told no.
Well, it's been approved, but my question is, because if you don't vote on it and it goes down as a aye vote, and if you want it to be a nay vote, just let me know. Otherwise, it'll go down as an aye vote.
Well, I'm gonna vote for it because I
Okay.
believe in it.
Okay,
100%.
then we'll leave it there. That brings us down to policy updates, promotion and retention.
Yeah, this is a policy that we had out for a 30-day comment period, and we had no comments on that. So if you remember, it was just changing the credits for junior, senior, because we lowered the graduation requirements from before.
Okay.
So,
I make a motion to approve policy 5501.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Personnel and personnel matters. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the personnel matters presented by the superintendent, Mrs. Dorr.
I'll second. I'll second. Everybody can
Mike and second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Brings down to board member comments. Mr. Dodgery?
I just really, I know I want to be back in school for 5 days, but I think the testing is flawed and we're going to continue down this path. But it's never going to end. So we have big plans. Because, we're never going to see eye to eye. I don't believe in this stuff. I know it's real. I don't believe in the numbers, I don't believe in the mask, I don't believe in all that stuff, but that's me. But we got to come up, the kids are suffering, and they're suffering at home. The grandparents don't know what they're doing with these kids. I spoke with a grandparent today who's just frustrated. They got a 13-year-old child that they have custody of, and they don't know how to operate the tablet, and their kid is frustrated because they don't understand what's going on, and so the kid's just falling more and more behind. The grandparents frustrated because they don't know how to teach, they don't know how to walk buttons, so there's just a lack of information that's out there, and the long-term effects that this is going to have on our kids, I don't think we fully grasp. And they're not socializing, they're not talking, they're not learning to the degree they need to learn to prepare them for the future, and they're just going to get pushed ahead to next year, and then they're going to be behind next year. And I think it's just going to be a snowball effect. I think we've got to really, we've got to do some grasping, and I'm excited. We're going to try to go 5 days or 4 days a week next semester, but I think that's still at the height of the the flu season, and the flu test positive for COVID, so it's gonna be more positive, so I just think this is gonna be, it's not gonna end until May. And, then by then, our kids are just gonna miss out on more and more and more, so. That's where I'm at.
Ms. Messenger?
Mike, that's what I need to say today.
Okay. Mr. Hope?
Thank you.
Mr. Hope?
Well, it's a situation where, it's here, it's on us, it's maybe eventually going to get better when the vaccines are finally approved, but, it's like we're trading daylight for darkness, and ultimately, I think it all comes down not only to the science, but it comes down to the greatest scientist of all, and that's the good Lord above. And I think that, we have to put it in the science's hands, and I think we have to put it in the hands of the Lord Almighty. And eventually, I think we will come out the other side, and hopefully, all the lives that are lost will never come back. But hopefully, the lives that are, replacing those will be, eventually will be saved, and we'll move forward with this. And somewhere, not today, not next month, not 6 months down the road, or maybe not a year down the road, maybe then at that point, we will start to see a little let up, and things return to semi, normal. It's not going to be solved with the President of the United States or the President-elect of the United States. I think it's going to be solved by, everybody working together and trying to do their part to slow it down. But I don't think, I think we're in for a long, bumpy road.
Mr. Devine?
Yeah, I just feel that while we're sitting idly in the situation that we're in, we need to consider doing things to improve our situation while we're waiting for other things to happen. So that's the big thing for me, is instead of sitting and accepting the status quo, let's create the new status quo. Let's bring something else out into the environment that we can utilize to do an education for our children and give them the things that they need. It's not an ideal situation that we're in by any means. Nobody is expecting anybody to say otherwise. But I do think that when you're given lemons, make lemonade, so to speak. We're given lemons right now. So let's take those lemons and let's turn them into something that we can sustainably get children to learn with. That's the key. That's the big key. And if we have to come up with new processes, if we have to come up with new procedures and new policies, I think that's something that we have to do. We have to do it while we're waiting to get where we need to go.
And I guess what I have to say, at 1:30 today, I lost my second friend to COVID. I've lost 2 friends to COVID. I believe it. It's real. The numbers aren't doctored. Masks work. Wear them. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So,
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye. Children of peace, go in peace.
Thank you.